Hey, Keto Clan, welcome back. This is my second ever time going live, and I just thought it would be nice to get your guys' questions answered. Anything that you want answered, anything keto related, health related, even workout related, or if you just want to ask how I'm doing, I don't care. This is our time to together right now that you could get feedback directly from me. So let's just go ahead and get it started. Hi. So I got a message from my significant other, Cassandra, saying hi. And yeah, now it's just a matter of, I guess we need to wait to see who has any questions. But I have a question for you guys, whoever's out there listening and watching. What are your goals? Now, I mean, I don't care what kind of goals. They could be health goals. They could be financial goals. I don't care. Why don't you go ahead and message down in the comments just what your goals are? It's always good to have it written down. It's always good to put them out into the ether, put them out into the universe. But if you do have specific goals with your health, um, I would like to see them. I would like to see what you're doing to go about achieving those goals. Maybe see if I might be able to help with the Drgn keto system, or even just a little bit of encouragement here and there. So let me know. 100 pounds lost. That is definitely a really good goal when you have 100 pounds to lose. Now, it is important to say that having a goal needs to be achievable. It definitely needs to be something that is possible without making yourself unhealthy. Right. The whole point of all of this is for us to get healthy. Now, a lot of us end up concentrating way too much on the number on the scale, concentrating way too much on losing weight. It's a reverse mentality that we've gotten into, that if I lose weight, I'll get healthy. And that's not the case. It's if I get healthy, I'll lose or gain weight. If you're one of the few people out there that have a hard time putting weight on and you're underweight. Um, so it's really a matter of just picking a path, whatever that path is, and sticking to it, with still being kind to yourself and forgiving yourself when you may have a day or two that you go off the tracks. Being kind to yourself that you may have a week that the scale goes up. You don't know really what's going on under the hood. You don't know whether or not your body is putting on muscle, or your body's retaining fluids and nutrients because you might be getting sick. There's a lot of things that go on, so you definitely don't want to get discouraged. And if you do get discouraged, you need to have some kind of support system, people that you know that you could go to that will lift you back up, that will let you know that while it's okay to get discouraged, it's not okay to let that discouragement stop you from achieving your goals. Now, 100 pounds lost, that's a lot, but it's doable. I did it. So that's definitely a good goal to have, again, if you had 100 pounds to lose to begin with. So, do we have anybody else on that has any other questions? Um, I could go ahead and ask this question here. So maybe it's not as personal. Um, do you guys monitor your ketones? It's something that's quite important um, as you're trying to figure out how you keto. there's a lot of systems out there. There's a lot of categories that people like to lump themselves into or lump you into. Are you strict keto? Are you dirty keto? Are you lazy keto? Okay, what if I'm a little bit of both and none of all of them? What if what works for my body to keep me into ketosis and to make sure that I'm in a nutritional ketosis doesn't fall into any of those? Well, guess what? Most people, they don't fall into any one of those standards, right? So it's almost detrimental to try to force yourself to be one of those, right? And then I've also ran into a few people that have their own keto systems, a few keto coaches like me. Sorry if I just hit the mic. That have the mentality that if you don't do it this way, whatever this might be, um, then you're doing it wrong. Holy moly. I wish I had the knowledge to know what every single body on the planet needed. That would be amazing. Wouldn't need to be doing this. I would be able to go out there and make a billion cajillion dollars because I would know exactly what every single body needed. It's just not the case. So let's see here. Facebook user. Here, let's go ahead and put this up here. It's okay if you don't want to have your name out there. I've lost 70 pounds. My goal is to lose 50 more. Reason why, let's see, reason is have multiple physical problems. My main problem right now is kidney disease. Yeah. So when you're dealing with individual medical issues, you definitely want to pay close attention to what you're putting in your body. All right. Kidney disease, it's definitely something that you need to pay attention that you're not eating a lot of things that are rough on your kidneys and you are eating things that are easier on your kidneys. Now, here's the thing, you can still be on the keto diet with any of these types of disorders or diseases or medical issues. You just have to modify things a little bit. You have to do a little bit more research. And in a case like this, if I had a client that was in your situation where you were dealing with kidney disease, me as a coach, I would make sure that I would learn as much as I could about kidney disease. Now, I only have a real baser knowledge of it, so I couldn't, really go too far into that with you individually right now. But the fact that you've already lost 70 pounds is absolutely amazing, and you should be absolutely proud of yourself for that accomplishment. It's awesome. And then to lose another 50 pounds, and again, just like with Cassandra, if you have 50 pounds to lose, go for it. Me personally, now I'm talking about my own personal journey here. I lost 100 pounds. According to the scales, according to the charts, according to the doctors, according to just about everything, I still have another 50 pounds that I need to lose. I don't want to. I don't want to get down that far. I don't think my personal body would look good that far down. And just me, I'm Irish and I'm Viking, Scandinavian. I put on muscle very quickly. So in order for me to be able to stretch the loss that I've had already down that far, I would have to work out quite a bit. Now I am working out, but I'm not going to the gym and lifting weights because I don't want to put on that much bulk. I have the muscle mass now. I'm trying to lean everything out, but I'm still putting on muscle doing my MMA training, my Krav Maga, and fight classes and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu classes that I've been taking. Um, it's still personalized. So if you have the weight to lose, go for it. I personally, especially after 70 pounds, and okay, so Facebook user is my beloved Aunt Teresa that has been a part of my life for, well, pretty much my whole life. After losing 70 pounds, you're also on the shorter side. Um, I really would start recommending to you to just try to make sure that you feel better. Don't put a number on it at this point. Or if you're going to put a number on it, start tracking your body fat percent. Okay. Um, Once you've reached a certain level, in order to make your weight drop, if you're weight focused, you have to start doing things like going to the gym. You have to start doing things like going for runs or walks and getting a lot of cardio in, right? Because at a certain point you can't start eating that much less, right? You have to eat, right? And if your body's not dropping weight once you get to a certain level of calorie intake, or down to a certain level of calorie intake, you have to start burning more calories. You have to start burning more energy, right? So if you start getting more active, that will help. As far as I know, getting more active with certain restrictions actually helps with kidney disease too. But please don't quote me on that. Um, but Aunt Teresa losing 70 pounds, that's amazing. I am so proud of you. And I can't wait to see you next time I get down to California. Hopefully, we'll be able to make that happen. And I love you. So let's move on here. All right, so we have Cassandra again. She is using a breath meter to monitor her ketones. And the funny thing about this is she's using my breath meter to monitor her ketones. So I obviously also use the breath meter. Um, and I have noticed that there are several different types of breath meters. Of course, there's several different types of breath meters, but each breath meter kind of gives you a different readout, which can be a little confusing. My client out in Florida, the first breath meter she had actually did some math within its little stuff, right, within its microchips, to give you a ketones per millimolar, right? Which is actually the measurement that they use for beta hydroxybutyrate, or BHB, which is the ketone that's found in your blood. Okay. Your breath ketone is actually acetate, right? So when you use a breath meter, it's actually measuring parts per million of acetate. Okay. And the breath meter that I have measures that. So the difference in readings, my breath meter will actually, it shows you in ketosis at 0.03, where if you're testing millimolars, you have to be at 0.5. Now, this is a big difference when you really look at those numbers, 0.03 or zero point 0.5, right? If you got a zero point 0.5 on my meter, that is super duper high, super duper high. But if you got a 0.03, I like a meter that tests in millimolars wouldn't even show a 0.03. It stops at 0.1. Um, oh, it looks like we have somebody from Canada. But I am now international. Woo woo. Yeah, I like that, and I promise I won't do that again. I apologize. But welcome from Canada. Um, do you have any questions so far? We have asked if you use a anything to monitor your ketones, or just what your goals are, or what have you already done. We've had somebody ask what, or somebody let us know that their goal is to lose 100 pounds, which is amazing if you have that to lose. My aunt from California actually shared with us that she's lost 70 pounds and she's looking to lose another 50, even though she is battling kidney disease right now. I lost my tink. I didn't lose my mind. I, I, you can't lose something you've never had. So, Canada, it's a keto thing. So I definitely appreciate you checking out my live stream here. Please ask me any questions that you might have. Oh, okay. I have no questions. Thanks. I've done keto for a while, on and off. Well, thank you very much for the support, and please share this off with anybody else that you might think might have some questions that need to be answered. For those of you who don't know me, we might have a couple of people in here that don't personally know me, which is honestly very awesome to me. I did start my keto journey July of 2019. I was 320 pounds. I was 350 pounds at my heaviest. I am sitting in the 250s right now. I don't get on the scale often, so I couldn't tell you exactly what that number is. More importantly, though, I am healthier than I have ever been. I went to the doctor 2 weeks before I started keto, and my triglycerides were over 300. My blood pressure was 200 over 120. I was diagnosed as diabetic. My HDL, the good cholesterol, was low. My LDL, the bad cholesterol, was high. Um, just all bad things that my doctor ended up telling me that I was probably a month, 2 months away from having a stroke or a heart attack at 37 years old. Um, so I started my journey. I've lost 100 pounds. My blood sugar is completely normal. I no longer have the diagnosis of diabetic, not even managed by uh, diet and exercise. Just I'm not diabetic. My blood pressure, the last time I checked it, was 120 over 80, which is right normal. My triglycerides are in the hundreds where they need to be. My LDL and HDL cholesterol is exactly where it needs to be. And funny thing about the LDL cholesterol, the low density lipids, um, they are bad when they're super small and dense, right? If you look at them under a microscope. LDL is actually safe when those little lipids are more fluffy, so lower density, like they're supposed to be. And that has also happened within me. I also work in construction where I do 20,000 steps a day, um, take 15 flights of stairs up. My watch doesn't count flights down, so whatever. Um, and I come home and oftentimes I go to MMA class. My energy is through the roof. I'm 39 years old. I'm almost 40 years old. I have more energy than I have ever had in my life. Um, when my children are here, I'm able to play with them and keep up with them. In fact, usually they tap out before I do now, which is amazing. They're 11 and 12. Um, so that's my story. That's where I've been. I decided that I was going to share my knowledge, share everything that I have learned in the last 2 years. I'm a rabid researcher. I learn as much as I can about anything that I'm going to do, especially if it has to do with my health, because I need to make sure that I'm around for my kids. Um, I'm also currently writing a book on this. So we'll see how all this goes. So, do we have any other questions? Anybody else who wants to shout us out or anything like that? Not yet. No. Tink. you have any questions for me? You were able to come in here. Oh, I don't even know what to ask or how to ask it. All right. What are you struggling with? How about that? Because everybody struggles with something, and that struggle can oftentimes make or break what we're trying to do. All right, what is a good protein powder? That's an amazing question because there are so many different options out there. So, like with most things, the answer is going to be it depends. Okay, so it depends on what your goals are, what your macros are, and please let me know down in the comments here if you need me to explain what macros are. Okay, but there are some people that work much better with higher levels of protein than others. Okay, so I mean, obviously, the biggest thing is when you're going to pick a protein powder. I personally would recommend sticking with whey powder. Um, I don't like what soy does to us. Soy ends up causing a lot of inflammation, and that's one of the reasons why we stay away from carbs is the inflammation. Right? Inflammation is bad. Um, so I definitely recommend going with a whey protein. I definitely recommend trying to find something with a fat content that does not have carbs, doesn't have sugar. You definitely need to pay attention to that label, pay attention to those ingredients, and make sure there's not maltitol or maltodextrin. Oh my goodness. Make sure there's no maltodextrin, right? Um, and then if you find something that looks like it might be good, try it. Use that breath meter, use that blood meter. Um, Test your ketones, keep track of how you're feeling, test. Okay. And I'm talking test like scientifically test, right? Make sure everything else is the same. And the only variable that you're introducing into the experiment is the protein powder. Okay. See where your ketones are leveling. Are they going up? Are they going down? Are you being kicked out of ketosis altogether? If that happens, stop. Right. But see how you're feeling, right? See if this particular protein powder is how long it's lasting you before you start getting hungry again. Okay. Um, a lot of these things about should I eat that or should I eat this or which is, the better ones of these, I could tell you what's better for me. Muscle milks actually work the best for me, and that is out of the premier proteins that I've tried. Even the Bang keto coffees, those don't work nearly as well for me as just right. Either the extreme. I'm not even sure what it's called, but the 40 protein, the 40 grams of protein, or the 25 grams of protein, 26 grams of protein. I actually drink two of them at a time, and that usually keeps me from feeling hungry for quite some time. Um, Also, there is some fat in there. Now, of course, we need to be careful when we're dealing with protein powders or protein drinks because we do need to make sure that we are getting enough fat in our system. Okay. Fat is what we work off of. It's what our brains need. It's what our heart needs. It's what the vast majority of our organs needs. That is being low carb is not keto. It's not putting yourself into ketosis. Fat, high fat and low carb, that is what puts us into ketosis. We eat the protein to support our muscles. We eat the protein because there are some parts of our body that need glucose, and our body turns protein into glucose through gluconeogenesis. So we need the protein to give our body the rest of what it needs. We need fat. We have to eat the fat so our bodies can create the ketones and deliver the energy. Sorry about that. Deliver the energy to our organs and to our muscles, and so we could work out and walk and live. Okay. So I guess I just gave you a rundown of what the macros are anyway. But yeah, it's going to depend, and there are guidelines that you need to pay attention to. Try to get something with fat in it. Make sure there's not a whole lot of crazy carbs in it. Make sure there's no maltodextrin in it, and then try it. See what your body does with it. Okay. So Tink. So questions about eating and exercise. So exercise, this is something that you just need to do. Don't push yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Do what you're ready to do. Even if that is when you wake up in the morning, you do 10 squats. Like you get up out of bed, you sit back down in bed, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. Do that 10 times and then do it 10 times before you go to bed. Right? It depends on what your activity level is right now on what you should be doing. Okay. I don't recommend just randomly going out and joining an MMA class, right? It wasn't random for me. I've studied martial arts in my past, and I'm highly active every day at work. So while I am killing myself, my body is sore all the time. It's a good sore. I'm not injuring myself. That's the one thing with exercise, especially if you're starting off like I was in a very unhealthy, very large state. Yes, exercise. Exercise for you is going to be different than exercise for me. Exercise just means doing more, using more energy. That's all it is. Using more energy. Eating. One of the more controversial things that I teach is eat when you're hungry. I don't know why that's controversial. Okay. But there are so many people out there, so many, let's be nice and call them keto tyrants, keto dictators. There's another term that I want to use, but I think YouTube and Facebook may not like me using it. It starts with an N. Um, there's these people that say that you have to intermittent fast. You have to do one meal a day. You have to do alternate day fasting. If you're not doing that, you're doing it wrong. Okay. That is absolutely not the case. Okay. And when you're just starting out, when you're already in an unhealthy metabolic state, you could actually throw your system into shock by doing that. And that's just bad, right? If you're already dealing with medical issues because of how unhealthy you are, um, the two-way keto crazies. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that one. That works. But eating when you're hungry. Okay. Now, here's the thing. This is what I tell people, especially when they're first starting out. How many times a day do you normally eat? Whether that be 2, 3, 18. I don't care. Okay. How many times a day do you normally eat? Okay, so now we're going to figure out your base macros. Okay, and we're going to figure out your base macros by starting with staying under 50 total carbs. When you're first starting out, you do not mess with net carbs, not yet. Okay, total carbs, stay under 50 total carbs, right? Now we need to somehow figure out how much muscle you have on your body. If that's 80 grams, if that's 100 grams, or if that's 80 pounds, 100 pounds, or 120 pounds, 150 pounds, that is how much protein you need to aim for in grams. So if you have 100 pounds of muscle, your goal is 100 grams of protein. And then that's really all you need to know. at that point. Okay. So let's say 50 total carbs and 100 protein. That's 150 that you're supposed to have in a day, right? So if you eat 3 times a day, that's 50 grams of protein per meal, and whatever the math works out to, I think it's 6.66 um, net carbs, or I'm sorry, total carbs per meal. Okay. Now that doesn't seem like a whole lot of food. That's where the fat comes in. Every single meal, you eat fat until you're not hungry anymore, not until you're stuffed. This is, you eat until satiety. Okay. So eat until you're satisfied. Eat until, yeah, I'm good now. Okay. We're not stuffing ourselves. And that's how you start. Okay. Um, Quite naturally, you're not going to be hungry as often because you're putting your body into ketosis. As soon as you're in ketosis, as soon as your body is keto adapted and you are using ketones primarily for energy, fat lasts longer. There is more energy per ounce of fat than there is per ounce of glucose. Okay. Think of a pound of grass, dried grass, compared to a pound of charcoal. What one's going to burn longer? What one's going to burn hotter? Okay. What one are you going to use to cook your food with? And what one are you going to use just to kind of watch something burn? Okay. And that's what it is. Grass, dried grass is glucose and fat is the charcoal. Okay. So as you're eating the fat in the morning, your body's going to start burning it. And as long as you don't force yourself to eat because it's lunchtime, because we're supposed to eat at lunchtime, you eat when you're hungry, you might find that you don't have time to eat 3 times in a day. You're only eating in the morning and at night. That's pretty much what I do right now. I have something in the morning and I have something at night. Okay. Unless, right now, here's the thing, right? Even me, 2 years into this, okay, I intermittent fast most of the time. But if I'm having an especially active day at work, I hit 20,000 steps by lunch. You know what? I might need to go get an omelet from the gut truck, right? Working construction, there's always food trucks, right? And luckily, I found something. They make omelets. Cool. But sometimes I might need a midday meal because I have burned through everything that I gave my body in the morning. I have started burning the fat, my fat reserves, and now I'm actually running out of energy to even do that. So I need to replace some fat. So eggs and meat is fat. It also gives me some protein to start rebuilding muscles that I've probably torn and while doing my daily job. Okay. So that's where you need to be with eating. Okay. Don't eat just because it's time to eat. Don't eat because you're bored. But do eat when you're actually hungry. When you're actually hungry. Now, that is something that I can't tell you how that feels. Okay. But I can tell you it feels different than what you're used to. If you haven't been on keto for long, you probably don't honestly know what it feels like to really be hungry unless you've been in, destitute situations before. Um, Unfortunately, I have been. Um, but fortunately now I don't have to be. Okay. But knowing when your body is actually hungry, when you actually need to put food in your face, is going to be a really important thing. Um, Now, also, what goes along with food is making sure that you're getting the micronutrients that you need, and that's the case where I tell people make sure that the carbs that you are putting in your system, Since we're dealing with total carbs at this point, make sure the carbs that you are putting in your system are dietary fiber rich leafy greens. Okay. Spinach, broccoli, kale, stuff like that. Okay. Those are excellent sources of dietary fiber. They are amazing sources of all the nutrients that we need. I think between those three, it actually covers like 98% of the vitamins and minerals that we're supposed to have. So definitely, keep those leafy greens on hand. Okay. An excellent dinner idea is uh, a spinach salad. Get a bowl, fill it with spinach, put bacon and cheese and black olives and avocado. Black olives, avocado, good sources of fat. Ranch dressing, honestly, a good source of fat. Bacon, good source of fat. You could throw Parmesan cheese crisps in there, right? Give you a little crunch. Okay. Um, Sunflower seeds actually are not too bad. Just use them sparingly. Um, and just go to town. You know, that's an amazing dinner, right? So let's see what else we got here. Oh, so our Canadian friend here agrees with me about the soy. Soy is no good. Try to stay away from anything soy. I don't even use soy sauce when I'm eating something Asian inspired. Um, Soy is just it's bad. It's bad for your digestive system. It's bad for everything. Everything. I guess soy-based like skin creams and stuff aren't bad. Just don't ingest it. I don't think it was ever meant for us to be ingested. Now these are my opinions. Just throwing those out there. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is good. So this actually, this is from Tink. Um, I found that the only shake that doesn't make me sick is half of a Slim Fast Keto mixed into 8 ounces of almond milk. Okay. Now the Slim Fast Keto shakes, I have mentioned them in some of my other videos. They do actually make my stomach hurt a little bit too if I drink two of them. Okay. Now I've mentioned a couple of times that I drink like two muscle milks or two of this. I'm a big guy. I'm in my 250s. I'm 6 foot tall. I have a lot of muscle mass. Don't ever think that when I am giving you an example of what I do, it is what you need to be doing. Okay. And this right here is a great, great example. She found what works for her. And that is actually amazing. Yeah, this right here is amazing. Okay. Take half of that keto shake, which has a great list of nutrients. It has high fat. It's got the protein. Okay. Throw it in with the almond milk, the unsweetened almond milk. Okay. Which gives you more fat, a little bit more protein, and the carbs are still super, super low. Okay. And if that works for her, amazing. It's awesome. Maybe it'll work for you. Try it. If it doesn't work, yeah, then you try something else. It's okay. So thank you very much, Tink, for that. That's awesome. Okay, and let's see here. Oh yes, carb cravings. Okay, so there are several resources online that can actually break down the craving that you're having to the particular vitamin or mineral that your body needs. I call that bullpucky. Okay. Your body will crave what it thinks it needs. Your cravings are actually signals from your brain. Okay. Your brain learns. Oh my God. Our brains learn? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Okay. If your entire life you have been in a glucose metabolism, right? Your entire life, your body has gotten its energy from sugar, from glucose, from carbs. Your entire life, your brain has been operating off of glucose. What is it going to give you a craving for when it's running low on energy? Yep. So, if we are trying to train our bodies and our brain into not craving glucose, what do we need to do? We need to give it its other energy source. And I'm not going to use alternative. I do not think that ketones are an alternative or secondary energy source. Okay. Again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, and I don't think that this could actually be tested without resurrecting some Cro-Magnon man. Okay. I honestly think that ketones are what we're supposed to be using. I think they are our primary source of energy, and glucose is our secondary source. And it's just been so long that we've been a wheat heavy society, a wheat heavy people, that we've forgotten that. But I digress. When you are craving carbs, I do not recommend making a low carb alternative to what you're craving. Okay. If you're craving pizza, I don't recommend making fathead dough and making a pizza. Okay. Not yet. Those are good things. Those are good tools. Those are things that, as you progress and learn how to manage your diet and learn how to test and introduce new food, okay, those are things that you could definitely do. Okay. But at first, I don't want you to concentrate on trying to find a keto alternative to all the things that you're craving. Okay. Because that's not going to teach your brain not to crave them. Okay. If you're craving sugar, if you're craving something sweet, okay, make a chaffle and spread some cream cheese over it. Okay. Cream cheese actually is fairly sweet, especially when you're not putting so much sweet on your palate. Okay. And as you're eating that, it'll give you just enough of that sweetness, right? But it's also giving your body fat, which gets turned into ketones, which will be used as energy. And then eventually, your brain, your body will start going, hey, I need energy. Craving for fat, which is what we want, which is what we need. Okay. That's when you know you're hungry. When you start going like, I could use some cheese. Yes, I just did a Steve Urkel. For those of you old enough to know Family Matters. So that was a good question there. When you're craving those carbs, go for something fatty. Okay. Avocados and cheese are my best friend. Yes, they are. I go through a lot of avocados. In fact, you know what? Hold on. All right. Oh, got to put my mic back on. There we go. Okay. This, right? I get a whole bag of them at Sam's Club, and it's actually just avocado, right? So I find that because of how busy I am, I don't actually get through a bag of avocados before they go bad, right? So this right here is perfect. Like, yeah, this is good until May 14th, and I've already had it for a month. This is the third bag from the 3 that I got. Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to open this up and actually eat it. Yes, I eat avocado straight. It's awesome. If I could open it up. All right. There we go. Oh, let's see. There we go. So you guys are going to have a snack with me. So yeah, avocado definitely. So avocado, good source of monounsaturated fat. Okay. Also has a few of the vitamins and minerals that we need to live, right? Mm. And it just tastes good. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting people who don't like avocado. I am kidding. If you don't like avocado, it's okay. But same thing with almonds and olives. Those are really high in monounsaturated fat. Okay. And so when we're talking about saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, what we're really talking about is the protein chain and the fatty acid. So there's like slots, right? There's little. So you got a fatty acid, right? Okay, and there's these little slots for like protein, right? I believe it's protein enzymes, right? So a saturated fat has all of them full. A polyunsaturated fat, only some of them are full, right? Then a monounsaturated fat, all of them are empty. Okay. Really, Canada? How can you not like? See, we were vibing, and then you had to say that you don't like avocado. Again, I'm kidding. So you got your monounsaturated fat, you got your polyunsaturated fat, right? Now here's the thing, or saturated fat. Now polyunsaturated fat, our bodies can actually use this a lot easier, a lot better. So this is actually what our bodies want: the polyunsaturated fat. Now, if we have a bunch of saturated fat and we have a bunch of unsaturated fat, the saturated fat gives up two of their protein enzymes, right? So now polyunsaturated fat, and those two, right, come over here and create another polyunsaturated fat, right? So it's a good idea. I will never tell somebody to stay away from saturated fats. I will absolutely tell everybody on the planet to stay away from trans fats because those are all made in a laboratory somewhere. Okay. Trans fats, bad. But saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, it's all energy. Okay. What I do tell people is to try to balance the saturated fat with monounsaturated fat. Okay. Monounsaturated fat can be hard to come by. Okay. Almonds, walnuts, avocado, black olives, obviously olive oil, avocado oil, coconuts. Those are all really good sources of monounsaturated fat. So I would highly recommend cooking with the oils like the avocado oil, the olive oil, and the coconut oil. Add shaved almonds to salads, add black olives to as much as you want. Eat avocado. That one's for you, Canada. So we've been going here for just about an hour. Do we have any other questions from anybody out there? And like I was saying before, they don't necessarily have to be keto questions. If you have any questions about health or exercise, working out, like what Tink asked with the exercise thing, anything like that, I am down to answer. We'll go ahead and give it Yeah. We'll give it another 5 minutes, right? That puts us right at the 60-minute mark for our broadcast here. Um, here's a question for everybody. If you could go ahead and answer this for me down in the comments. Do you think this would be a good idea to do once a month? Just live, me and you talking, me and all of you talking. Any questions that you might have that come up, anything that you're wondering about, you could, ask me. Um, oh, there we go. That's a good question. Thank you, Canada. All right, so let's throw this up here on the screen. Okay, what are your thoughts on clean or dirty/lazy keto? And I actually touched on this a little bit at the beginning. Okay, I think they are all good, depending on you. I think they are all bad, depending on you. Okay. I actually don't like to categorize how I keto. Okay. Because there are some things that work for me that fall more under the clean keto. And there's some things that work for me that fall more under the dirty or lazy keto. Right. Um, the way I understand them, it's too limiting. Okay. And I have found through my research, I have found through my own personal experience, and I have found through working with different people, different clients that I've worked with, that when you start putting blinders on, saying that this is the way you have to do it, this is the way it is, like we're doing lazy keto, so this is it. No, you can't do that because that's dirty keto. No, no, you can't do that because that's clean keto. Okay. I'm hoping, right? This is the lofty plan, right? Drgn keto is a system that I am developing. Okay. And I say it's a system because in essence, what it is it's helping you find what works for you. It puts some structure in experimenting with your diet. It puts some structure in testing new foods. Okay. You may be able to handle more carbs than I. It really depends on how much damage was done to your system for how long on a glucose metabolism. Okay. Some people are going to be more sensitive to carbs than others, and some people are going to be more resistant to carbs than others. Okay. I have actually cheated for 3 days. And I'm talking cheated like pizza and candy, and I was still in ketosis 3 days later. Am I going to say that it is okay for everybody to do that? Absolutely not. Do not do that. I was fully expecting to be out of ketosis and have to go through keto flu again. Okay? Don't do that. Unless you want to, unless it's something that you're planning, right? I got a whole nother video about that. Okay, how to cheat, okay, and recover. Okay. But there is no such thing as a one size fits all. Okay. Oh, yeah, you just said that, huh? There you go, Canada. Another shout out to you. By the way, it, it's a keto thing. Okay. She's she, he, them. Yeah, I covered all of them there. Um, go ahead and check out her, their, his. Go ahead and check out It's a Keto Thing. It looks like they're on YouTube. They probably have a channel answering questions like this too. Okay, great. Thank you. That does help. I was going off of the picture, the avatar picture, but I didn't want to assume anything. Um, but go ahead and check out It's a Keto Thing. And yes, I definitely am interested in collaborating with you. That sounds fun. It sounds like we might have similar theories and methodologies on this. So I'm always interested in learning somebody else's experiences and somebody else's points of view. So that sounds amazing to me. And yeah, anybody else that's still on, go check her out. I will be checking her out as soon as we're done here. Oh, and we have hit the hour mark. So unless anybody else has any questions, I like the idea of doing this once a month. I am going to start doing this once a month. See if we can't get a few more people in here and answering these questions. With all that being said, thank you so very much, everybody who sat through all this. Thank you so very much for your support. I look forward to answering more of your questions later. Definitely subscribe and like my channel, Keto Drgn. You could join the Keto Clan going to Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Keto Drgn. And from there, you could link up to the group. And for now, everybody, my Keto Clan, Keto on.